Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about SOFI Technologies SOFI stock, and the reason why SOFI is in the news today is that they have pushed out more promotional material that is really going to help the overall company gain new customers, and this in turn will increase revenues and hopefully inflate the stock price. We're also going to be talking about the latest news updates for SOFI Technologies along with the newest price predictions among analysts. Then we're going to talk about how it's risky not to own SOFI stock in your portfolio, and the reason why it's going to be risky not to have some exposure to SOFI Technologies is that one, it continues to build an extremely smart ecosystem, and their business model, which is a flywheel business model of cross-selling and upselling, is absolutely phenomenal. Then we're going to talk about what bears think of SOFI Technologies, so we want to weigh the positive and the bullish side against the negative bearish side so you can come to an intelligent investment decision based upon your own personal portfolio. And then lastly, we're going to talk about the growth rates of SOFI Technologies and how it's very compelling for a long-term buying opportunity if your portfolio can handle somewhat of a long-term risk. Then finally, we're going to do some stock analysis on the SOFI stock to determine when SOFI stock could break out. So for more SOFI stock videos, remember to go and smash that like button right now, subscribe if you are new, comment down below your thoughts about SOFI Technologies, how much you own and how long you plan to hold the company, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's story. So if you didn't know, SOFI Technologies is a fintech company or a financial technology company that offers an all-in-one inclusive app that offers anything that their customers would need in terms of financial products and or financial services. Currently, the SOFI stock price trades for around $7.38. However, the low-end analyst price target is $10 per share over the next 12 months, which again is above the current stock price of the stock, which means that we do have a good margin of safety if we decide to start an investment or even average down our average cost for the SOFI stock down to around $7 per share. The average analyst price prediction for the company is $14.35, so basically we could double our money here if the average analyst price target is correct. However, on the more bullish end, we get price targets anywhere between $17 to $22 per share, which is extremely bullish for this overall company. I want to talk about their new promotional material right now and the offers that they are giving their various customers, clients, and even new customers, which is fantastic. So SOFI right now is promising a new cashback reward system for their credit card holders, at least for the first year. So SOFI recently announced that eligible checking and savings accounts members can now earn around 3% cash back on all approved credit card purchases up to $12,000 for an entire year, which is absolutely phenomenal. Credit cards that are returning a 3% cash back are absolutely phenomenal. However, SOFI is going to do this temporarily for only a year up to $12,000. Some background on their credit cards is that SOFI launched its credit card back in 2021 with the goal of literally enhancing their customers' healthy financial habits, because if you use a credit card properly, it can be used as a tool to build wealth. However, the majority of people can't exercise much self-control or discipline when using a credit card, which is what gets them into bad debt, which is extremely poor, especially if you're trying to build wealth over the long term, or even build wealth in general. However, now, users of their credit card can choose to either invest this 3% cash back into stocks, cryptocurrencies, or other financial investments such as ETFs, which is personally what I would do. We also know that SOFI Technologies is one of the most competitive providers of checking and savings accounts thanks to their bank charter and a plethora of other factors, because they literally have an industry-leading 1.25% APY. What this means is that if you have money currently sitting in a SOFI checking or a SOFI savings account, that money is going to start accruing good interest, and your money is going to go up over time at a rate of 1.25% each year. Their checking and savings accounts also have no account minimums, no fees, and they are extremely competitive, even more competitive than all of the other banks I can think of off of the top of my head in terms of their checking and savings accounts. SOFI Technologies CEO says that SOFI is a one-stop shop for people's financial needs. Our unique technology stack and broad suite of products enables us to build offerings that work better when you use them together, and this clearly goes hand in hand with their business model of cross-selling and or upselling people, which is why their business model is so lucrative. The CEO goes on to say that our new 3% cashback offer, paired with our recent announcement that we we raised our APY to an industry-leading 1.25% for direct deposit members highlights how we are continuously bringing more value to our members. In the current rate environment, we are leading the charge among financial institutions in putting money back in our members' pockets and helping them get their money right." End quote. So this is overall very fantastic bullish news for SoFi Technologies. They have solidified themselves not only as an industry leader in terms of their fintech technology, but also in terms of their checking and savings account, and their credit card, which is receiving a 3% cash back at least for a year, is also extremely competitive in the credit space. The SOFI stock price, which we will talk about later in this video, is currently down around 55%, which is absolutely crazy, but this could offer us a fantastic buying opportunity, especially since the stock price has fumbled multiple times due to short interest, which we will talk about later in the video. The company right now is pulling all of its products together and services to make it more compelling for people to actually use SoFi's technology. And I really like this approach because this is not only just trying to incentivize new members to join SoFi Technologies, but this also benefits existing members of SoFi Technologies. On top of that, to get new members into the company, so their business model of their upselling and cross-selling can work very effectively, they're also offering a welcome bonus of up to $300 when new members sign up with direct deposits, or if an existing member sets up a direct deposit to their SoFi checkings and or savings account. So this is not only bringing new customers in, this is also keeping their existing customers within the SoFi Technology business model, which is honestly fantastic news, and it's pretty genius on management's part. So overall, I think this is absolutely phenomenal from a public relations standpoint, as well as their ability to attract new members on top of solidifying and keeping the members that they already have. This is going to reflect very positively on their overall SOFI revenues, which we will get a peek into in the next couple of quarters, and hopefully their earnings reports will continue to stack and increase at a compounding annual growth rate, or a compounding annual growth rate regarding their revenues of over 40%, which we talked about multiple times in previous videos, which is extremely competitive. I really like how SoFi Technologies is not only trying to be a market leader in their respected fintech space, but they're also trying to be a market leader among banks. Because SoFi Technologies has so many things going for it right now, it's best to get on board right now, or at least put this company on a watch list, which is why now we're going to talk about why it's actually somewhat risky to not be exposed to SoFi Technologies. So let's dive into the evidence for this and what this author lays out for us. So he says that SoFi stock is a very compelling buy right now for bullish investors or positive investors that want to hold this company for the long term. And because I personally am a long-term investor, I really like SoFi Technologies. I like their business model. I think they have solid fundamentals, and I can't wait to see what this company does in the future, which is why I currently am buying it up right now. However, I'm doing this very wisely. I'm not overexposing myself too much to this very speculative fintech stock, but I do think it has fantastic growth ahead of it. Now, what the bears will say, and they are completely right in saying this, is that the current stock market environment is very negative right now. We have inflationary data, which is very negative. We have inflation in gas prices and food prices going up. We have spiking treasury yields, which makes investors liquidate or sell their growth stocks or even value stocks and decide to invest into bonds. We also have other investors getting very anxious before the start of earnings season, which could cause the stock price to fall further. And then lastly, with inflation, growth companies are hit extremely hard because growth companies tend to borrow a lot of money, which means that they're going to have to pay a lot of money as interest rates rise, as inflation rises. So overall, Wall Street has a very bearish negative tone to it right now, on top of geopolitical tensions around the world. All of these have contributed in a very large way to spread FUD, which is fear, uncertainty, and doubt throughout the market. This is why I think that this bearish market is actually a fantastic buying opportunity, which the author of this article correctly points out, and I 100% agree with him. However, now I want to talk about the bullish reasons to buy SoFi Technologies and some bulls that I actually disagree with. For instance, there is an investor that thinks that the company could literally 20x in price, and he's a very well-known stock analyst and investor. However, I don't agree with him. I think this is actually way too bullish. I think if we surmise based on their future projections over the next 5 years that the company could at least 5x in the next 5 to 10 years, but 20x in my opinion is overly bullish. But even with that being said, if the stock 5x's, 10x's, or 20x's, all three of these are fantastic options. This investor also calls SoFi repeatedly the Amazon of finance, and I actually tend to agree with him on that particular point. I think it is the Amazon of finance, but I don't anticipate SoFi will receive the exact same price appreciation that we see in Amazon. They are clearly in different sectors and spaces, so we should not conflate these two, but I think the point is still very important to emphasize, is that SoFi Technologies is diversifying their revenue channels, and they're building an empire just like Amazon did. We also know that people are gravitated toward digitalization, especially younger people, which SoFi Technologies literally targets. And due to SoFi's all-inclusive super app, you have the power of an entire bank from your phone. You can invest, have checking and savings accounts, get credit cards, and you have access to personal loans as well as other types of loans, including student loan refinances. So SoFi is doing a fantastic job about penetrating the overall market, but SoFi Technologies is also penetrating their business-to-business market through Technisys and their Galileo platforms. So this way, SoFi Technologies is not only trying to introduce themselves to have regular everyday customers, but they're also helping out various businesses in the United States, which has caused some very well-known financial personalities, such as CNBC's Jim Cramer, who I really don't always agree with. I actually rarely agree with Jim Cramer, but on this particular stock, we both like SoFi Technologies, so I at least can tip my hat to him in terms of SoFi Technologies, because we are both very bullish on the company, and both of us think that the company is currently trading at a very good discount right now, which to me signifies a potential buying opportunity. However, to determine if this is a true buying opportunity, this will have to depend on your personal portfolio, your goals, and how long you are willing to actually hold this company. Although this could be a buying opportunity for me, this doesn't mean that this is necessarily a good buying opportunity for you. So with that being said, let's look at the overall stock price. Clearly, the SOFI stock price, like we said earlier, has fallen around 55%, so a huge drop in price, and since then we have seen the stock fumble around 3 times. We have a fumble here, and a fumble here. However, many analysts don't think that the SOFI stock price is going to break below $7 per share, which is definitely possible. However, if it does break lower than $7, we could see the SOFI stock price fall all the way down to $5, and if it falls below $5, we could see it going down as low as $3.50. However, if it did fall that low, I would end up buying more of this company, because why wouldn't I want to buy one of my favorite companies while the stock price is extremely and absurdly cheap compared to the revenues that they're bringing in, on top of their projected profitability, which we mentioned in the last video about when SoFi Technologies is set to become profitable. So although the stock price has fallen very dramatically in the short term, again, this could be a good buying opportunity depending on your personal portfolio and your investment strategy. Last video, we also talked about the student loan moratorium and how that is heavily weighing down on the SOFI stock price, but in this video, I really want to focus on the impact of short selling. So right now, SoFi Technologies has either around or above 14% short interest with a cover ratio of 2. However, eventually this short interest is going to go away. We could either see some type of a short squeeze, or we're going to see short interest backing off of this company when the overall macroeconomic environment of the stock market ends up starting to surge again, as long as we don't go into a bear market and or a recession. Another problem with SoFi Technologies is their overall competition. Although I do believe they are a market leader in the fintech space, they still face competition from other companies because the fintech space is extremely competitive. Now, I am very happy that they are going to diversify themselves further into business loans as well as mortgage loans. But with the potential of housing markets crashing and the increase in interest rates regarding the various mortgage rates, this could negatively affect SoFi Technologies' projections for their mortgage business. Currently, the company is not profitable on a GAAP basis, and they have negative free cash flow, but like we said in the last video, the company is going to become profitable sometime between 2024 and 2025, which is going to act as a fantastic catalyst for the overall SOFI stock price. This means that in the current market environment, while all of these negative factors are surrounding SoFi Technologies and artificially weighing the SOFI stock price down, once all of these very short-term problems blow over, the SOFI stock price could make a crazy rebound, which I am very hopeful for. And even if this doesn't come in the short term, it doesn't matter to me because I am holding this company over the long term. So if we can properly use the questionable stock market environment right now, on top of our bullish thesis of the SOFI stock price surging to almost $22 per share, according to bullish analysts, it seems that this is a fantastic stock to buy if we want to diversify ourselves further into fintech companies. Overall, I see SoFi Technologies as a good long-term win. However, I don't think anyone should buy SoFi Technologies Technologies if you are not willing to hold this company for at least 10 years. But with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts down below about the SOFI stock price. Remember to smash that like button right now. For more SOFI stock videos like this one, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.